everybody. Welcome to another story time with Father Joshua. And today we're back out in the desert, in the Sinai Peninsula, to be truthful. And I am sitting at the base of Mount Horeb. Mount Horeb. This is where God first spoke to Moses. And that's our story today. Remember last week we had the story of how Moses was saved by being put in the river in a basket by his mother and adopted as one of Pharaoh's own children. Well, later he found out that he was actually Hebrew and went out into the wilderness and lived with a man named Jethro and married one of his daughters and became a shepherd for 40 years. And then one day, God appeared to him and gave him a job to do. And that's our story today. It's called The Burning Bush. And it comes from our Spark Story Bible once again. Are you ready? Good. Let's begin. Moses was watching his sheep in the hot, dry desert. It looks pretty hot and dry here, doesn't it? Suddenly he saw a very strange sight. Flames of fire came from a bush, but the bush did not burn up. Moses squinted his eyes. He looked around the bush one way, and he looked around the bush the other way. "Moses! Moses!" said a loud voice. Moses was scared. Here I am." "Take off your shoes," the voice thundered. "The place where you are standing is holy ground." Well, Moses kicked off his sandals, keeping his eye on the flaming bush. "I am the God of your fathers," the voice said. Moses hid his face. He was afraid to look at God. "I have heard the crying of my people in Egypt," God said. "My people are hurting, and I have come to save them." Wow, thought Moses. How will God do this? "Go," said God. "I am sending you to Pharaoh to ask him to let my people go." Me?" said Moses. "Who am I to go to Pharaoh? Who am I to lead your people?" He threw himself down onto the ground before God, but he kept one eye on the burning bush. "I will be with you," God said. Moses trusted God. He was willing to do everything God said. God gave Moses the words and the power he needed to talk to a man like Pharaoh and lead the people out of Egypt. Oh, isn't that a good story? Well, you know, Moses was a strange person to pick to do this very important job, to be the prophet of God, to go and bring the people out of Egypt. And Moses thought this too. Why would God pick him? You see, even though Moses was brought up in the palace in Egypt, he had a stutter. It was hard for him to say the words that he needed to say. Do any of you have that trouble? Is it hard for you to talk in front of people? Is it scary? Do the words just not come out right? Well, they didn't for Moses either. But God said, "Moses, I will be with you when you go into Egypt. I will give you the words to say. Don't worry, I will help you." And God still does that for us today. Isn't that awesome? There are many times that I go and I speak to churches and I don't know what I'm going to say. And sometimes it's scary, but I know that God is with me. And the story of the burning bush and Mount Horeb, like behind me, are a good reminder of that. So I hope you get to learn that lesson too, and take that with you the next time you need to speak to somebody about God. I have another task for you today, and today is really fun. I want you to hide either behind a tree or a bush outside, or if it's not a good time to go outside, maybe hide behind a piece of furniture and call out with a friend, "Moses! Moses!" until you get their attention. And then I want you to trade spots, and then they can be God and you can be Moses. Remember, even though Moses had a hard time speaking and he was afraid, he was still the person that God chose. And God chooses you too to be his messenger in the world, to share his good news of freedom and love. Well, I hope you enjoyed story time this week, my friends. And until next Sunday, peace